Check the hair, check the hair. Check
Looking good, the flow.
Oh,
Oh,
my favorite muffin.
Cranberry?
my
Cranberry orange
goodness.
muffin from McDonald's.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Well, here goes nothing.
Okay. We are live, everybody. But we're also on tape. We are deeper down in the battle. I play some music. Episode 110 of Kamloops last week. Christopher Foulds. No Bill.
No Bill this week. Yeah, it's Bill's at the Wasteland something. It's where people that love Mad Max go and they dress up like Mad Max. And
This is for real. You're not
in the Mojave Desert.
Yeah.
He drove there and is rocking it and has to bring in 30 liters of water because there's no water. You have to everything you take in, you have to take out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This sounds like one of those festivals that could go wrong, like the Fire Festival.
Yeah. Well, but it can't go wrong because they're prepared for being in a wasteland.
Well, yeah, maybe hopefully they don't get the rain that the Burning Man got. Remember, they all got stuck there for a few weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, a few
That's
days.
Magic Mike. 110. You got anything for 10, 110?
Very special 110. 110 is the unit number in the townhouse complex where I grew up in Abbotsford. 110 Bevan Gardens, right in the middle of Abbey. Stone's throw from Mill Lake.
How far from the Highwaymen?
Oh, quite a walk from the Highwaymen. This is when I was a kid. Where we
Okay.
play, it was a horseshoe-shaped 32-unit townhouse complex that my mom bought when she moved there in 1970 with my dad. She bought it because there was a playground right next to it for $17,000. They could have bought a house just up the road for like $27,000.
But this is like on the nice side of town, right? Not
No.
where the farmers live?
No, it's right in the middle of town. So when I grew up, it was like a sort of lower to mid-income.
Okay.
But a great place to grow up. A lot of interesting things happen there. So 110, Bevan Gardens. There you go.
110. What's half of that, Mike?
55.
Ooh, look
Yeah.
at that.
Guess who just turned 55 yesterday?
Ooh, yes. Yeah, I wished you happy birthday on
And this
Facebook.
is now, I get this for a senior's price, so there's something good about getting old.
You do at 55? Yeah. No way.
You need to start
This
taking
is
them
his
around.
first senior's coffee.
Someone else told me you can go to Denny's and also get a cheaper meal.
And
Grand
Shoppers
Slam.
Drug Mart. I brought my dad to Shoppers Drug Mart, and they were like, "And you want your senior's discount?" I looked at him. I was like, "What?"
You're a little bit sick. Yesterday you looked like you were 75 because you did not look good yesterday.
I got a cold last Wednesday or Thursday,
Uh-oh.
and then I went to work, and then I decided, and then on the weekend I golfed on Saturday, and it started pouring rain. Didn't affect the cold because there's no virus in the rain or bacteria, but it probably set me back because I was kind of tired. And I was feeling good, and then it hit me
You
again.
just the
and
bags under your eyes. You just didn't look very good. Hopefully one of these cranberry orange
They're very good.
muffins.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I love cranberry orange muffins.
They're very
A
good.
gift from you this morning from McDonald's, from Magic Mike Miltimore. Another thing about 10, Sean Whyte. That's his number.
That's right.
That's what I was going to say
You
because
knew
he plays for that football team.
Yeah.
The BC Lions.
BC
Yeah.
Lions, the
Yeah.
mighty BC Lions, the God's team.
He's on our show today. You must be excited.
Yes, can't wait to talk to him. And I read your story on him during training camp, where the two fellow kickers saved a lady. You could talk about that a little later. Yep, very good.
He also went to a rival high school of mine. We actually played against each other in rugby, so we might talk about that a little bit.
Maybe he remembers you.
He does.
He was
He
in
does.
photo when you were a Mariner. Is that right?
He was, but now they call the Thunderbirds, the Semiami Thunderbirds.
That's
and
a good name.
the Royal
You know, in
Mariners.
hockey they call like a goalie that lets a lot of goals in a sip.
Save,
Right?
yeah.
What do they call like a bad football player?
A bad football player.
Rugby player.
We played each other in rugby, not football.
Oh, rugby.
We were the same position too, fly half. That's another reason why he wears number 10, because that was his number in rugby.
Very good,
and
very interesting.
because he likes Pavel Bure.
Oh, yes.
So there you go. That's why he wears 10.
Russian
So
rocket.
A lot of time.
Hey,
Russian
look
rocket,
at you,
Mike.
yes.
Look at this.
Good
I'm
job.
learning. It only took 110 episodes.
Yeah. We have a great guest. Pumped for this guy because he's got an amazing story, I think. Svyatik Artemenko, TRU WolfPack soccer player. He was just in Ukraine, involved in the war. I think he was on the front lines. We're going to find out exactly. I don't actually know his full story, but I know that he foregoed coming back to Canada to stay and fight for Ukraine, and he's now back in Kamloops playing for the WolfPack. He's going to come and tell us his story. So I'm looking forward to talking to Svyatik in a little bit here.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Before we get to that, celebrating Foulds' birthday here. We have a couple surprise videos from his brother, so we can just hit. Can we play the first video there, Magic Mike? If you can
Yeah, I think we should be able to do this. Let me. Bill's not here.
Bill's
Bill
not
always
here.
plays the videos,
Yeah.
so now I'm just juggling everything. But I think it can just happen, just like
Sugar Shane Foulds leads the way.
this. Yep.
You didn't have much to say.
Hold on. Let me get to the end of this video. We'll get that one.
It was quite short, so you might have to tilt the thing down.
His head might be bigger than the screen. Well, there he is.
Hey, Communist Foulds. It's Capitalist Foulds here, saying happy birthday. No funny video this year, no gifts. I figure you're 55 years old, you're going a little bit senile, maybe I'll give you a piece of advice. So here it is, Taco Tuesday. The sign clearly says you get 1 free hot sauce with every item ordered. I ordered 5 items and I only got 4 hot sauces. I'm only gonna use 1. The other 3 are gonna go in the fridge so I can save some money on paste picante sauce, but they ain't gonna do me like this. So, hi there. Can I get my 5th hot sauce, please?
Hot sauce?
Yeah, the 5th one. I had 5 items. I need my 5th hot sauce. Say hi to my brother. It's his birthday.
Hi.
All right, the girls are gonna give me another hot sauce. Thank you very much. Oh, come on, really? Don't you do that to me. Look at this. I love these girls. I'm gonna take it home. You're the best. What's your name?
Dolly.
Dolly, I love you. Have a good one. Bye, girls. Happy birthday, bro. Hot sauce for life.
Is there some kind of story about hot sauces and fast food restaurants, or is that just him?
I have no idea what he's doing. That's pretty funny, though.
He's younger than you, right?
Yeah, he's 2 years younger than me.
And Daryl's older?
Daryl's 3 years older. Yeah.
3 years older, okay.
And Ricky is 8 years older.
Ricky, I've never.
And Leah is 4 years older.
Trumper.
Yeah, no, she's a Trumper. And then Debbie is like 13 years older.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us all over the place.
The Wild family. And Daryl, let's hear from Daryl now.
Hey Chris, how you doing? I just want to say happy birthday. I'm sitting here at the mall and having a talk. Oh shit. They didn't give me any sauce. I'm gonna have to go straighten this shit out. Hang on, buddy. Hey there.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Hey, I didn't get any sauce for my taco. Can I get some sauce, please?
No.
Oh.
Sorry.
Hey, can you wish my brother a happy birthday?
No, I can't do that for you.
Oh, okay. Thanks anyway. Well, happy birthday, brother.
Daryl does not have the same sway.
Well, that's why Shane's a very, very successful salesman.
Yeah. What did they like? What's going on with this fast food stuff? Do you know, or
I had no idea this was on here. I have no idea. I don't know. I have no idea. But that's funny.
yeah,
That's really funny. They are funny guys.
they're funny guys.
Yeah, they're very funny guys.
Anyway, happy birthday. Okay, let's talk about the council meeting somehow now. Last night, Reid Hamer-Jackson, Kamloops mayor. How did it go with the council and the staffers and the meals?
Yeah, that was probably the least important, one of the least important things in council yesterday when they're talking about climate action plans, they're talking about affordable housing, but it's probably the one that's kind of a little sensational. And the mayor brought it up on our show when he was here a few weeks ago when he said, here's the reason, the rationale behind it. So basically, council had no appetite for his plan to have no meals for the people because they didn't even say anything. It was kind of weird. Like he introduced the motion to say, now I want to introduce a motion that we stop bringing in meals. He claims that it costs $22,000 a year. The money could be used elsewhere. And he made the motion, and then it needs a seconder, another person that's a second it before they can debate. And it waited and waited. I think there was like 11 or 13 seconds of silence, and it didn't go through.
Right.
So they stopped. But then he said, there's a lot of food gets wasted in the fridge that very, very well-paid staff are eating free when others aren't, like he said on the show. But it didn't go anywhere. And just like a motion just before that, he made a motion that staff reconsider a vote they did on the Noble Creek irrigation system, that long-running saga, and he got no one to
Right.
second it. And then he made the joke, "I'm batting 1,000,"
Yeah.
which actually he's batting 0. If he was batting 1,000, he would have got a second or both. But I know what he means. He means
Yeah.
that he's perfect in not getting anyone to second his motion. So it didn't go through.
I think he said, "I can't believe that," but
Yeah, he did. He said, "I can't believe that." He goes, he just couldn't. He couldn't believe that no one would second the motion, at least to debate it. Now, other councillors have spoken. If you go online to kamloopsthisweek.com, we have a story up there, and then after the fact, we have comments from, I think, Dale Bass and maybe a few other councillors about, why they didn't second it and what they think about it. And we've done stories on this before. We did a story in May of 2022 on the meal policy because it was a controversy back then before this election. And if you go, and I actually added it to the story online today. And David Trowan, the CAO, explains, that he thinks it's perfectly legitimate if you're working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and you're working over lunch. He thinks it's okay to buy sandwiches for the staff. So I don't disagree.
any thoughts on that one, Mike? You mouthful of muffin?
I'm just eating my McDonald's muffin right now. Well, our AV team, audiovisual company, we start at 8 o'clock in the morning and we'll work till sometimes 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll buy everybody burgers or something
People
like
working
that.
hard. It's a long day. Yeah.
Mainly because I'm hungry. But we expect everybody to bring their own lunch.
Yeah.
But I tend just to go, hey, who wants an ice cap? Because I do. I'm looking
Yeah.
for some.
But you probably do that on a sporadic basis, right? It's not every single time.
It's
right?
not every single time. It's usually when I'm working the gigs.
And I think
And you don't mind the idea, or at least you said before, like you don't mind what the mayor's trying to do here to save money.
No, I like it. It's a benefit to everybody that's getting it. Are they? That should be a taxable benefit that they should pay taxes on because they're getting free meals.
Taxpayers' money buying the food, I guess you could
But
say
it's a drop
that,
in the
yeah.
bucket, though, right?
Yeah.
Sure it is.
Well,
But
it's
everything's
$2,000 a
drop in the
month.
bucket
Yeah.
until the drops add up and the bucket
Yeah.
fills up, right? So,
Yeah,
but it is. It's 22. If it's 22 grand, we're not sure, but he said it's 22,000. Well, I looked at that last story we did in 2022, and they spent 9,000 on lunches for the year. So maybe lunches, dinner is 22 grand. It's nothing in the whole scheme of things, but there's a principle to it.
I
as
see
mayor
the
said.
principle, I see
Yeah.
the point, and
Yeah.
I see the other side of it, and
Yeah.
everyone knew this was going to happen.
I see both sides of it, and you're right. Everyone knew that. I think I asked Michael Potestio, our City Hall reporter, because I thought that
Recording?
Yes.
I thought that since October 15th when they got elected and they started meeting, I think in November, I thought every motion he put forward they've defeated 8-1. But Michael said there's been one at least where he got one approved, and that was to review the storage facility that the homeless use, just to review how it works and everything. But I think every other motion he's put forward.
It's just a
think-
landslide the other way.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the sensationalist stuff. What else was talked
Well,
about?
they had a long discussion. Fortis BC came to council to ask that they support their. They have this plan where they want the municipalities to support this new plan of increasing natural gas. They call it renewable natural gas use in the province. I think it's part of their sort of their campaign, because BC Hydros has a huge campaign to go electric, right? So it's like electric or gas, and they're both fossil fuels, and there's an argument as to which one is less impactful on the environment. So they had a spokesman come up, and he was saying, "Here's what we want. We want to, increase our gas use." There's some argument about existing customers subsidizing new customers, but that's kind of gets into the weeds. There was opponents, the Kamloops Transition Society, I think they're called, and there's people very very aware of the environment. They're there, and they push back and they say council shouldn't be doing this. Council should they claim council ignored their letter of concern. They say to support Fortis's bid for expanded gas use is to keep going on this road of climate crisis.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be doing it, and then there was another group that came there, and they were saying that they were on the other side. They were saying. This climate action plan the city has is part of a UN conspiracy, and the Rothschilds came into it.
You love those people.
Oh, and it went off the rails big time. And the one guy from the group, he was quite rational, because he said, you know what, it's doing all this climate stuff is really expensive, and it's impacting people's budgets, and he's right, and to a degree I agree with some of what he says. He's saying that Kamloops alone, even if we did everything, it's not going to make an impact in the world, even if Canada did it 2%, all that. But this other guy came up and He came up twice, I think, and oh my God, it was like he was accusing senior managers of donating money to some scheme for the World Economic Forum to run us. It was really, really bizarre. He started talking about the Rothschilds and other things, and then Nancy Beppel chimed in and said that's an anti-Semitic remark. You should be quiet. And they criticized the mayor for letting this guy speak, and the mayor should have shut him down. And I'm on that side saying this guy should have been shut down when you start talking about a UN conspiracy. It's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that just it angers you.
Well, it's just it's so transparently ridiculous.
Yeah.
There is room for criticism of the climate action plan, and for example, the ban on plastic bags I think is ridiculous, and some of the stuff I think is ridiculous. But to tie it to some kind of
I always
Orwellian
forget
scheme
my the bags I buy at
I always do
Superstore.
too.
I always go and I show up. I forgot my bag, so I'm taking out the full cart of groceries and I just load it one by one into my vehicle.
See, and you're ruining
because I don't because I don't want to buy more
You're
bags.
you're responsible for ruining the environment.
No, I don't. So I don't use a plastic bag. So I take the full cart out to my car. I put everything in one by one, and then I take it home and I get the bags that I forgot, the ones that I purchased, and go back down. And
so A, you're degrading the parking lot with more wheels, but B, you're getting exercise because you're going back up and forth. See, I go to save on
and
things.
putting out carbon dioxide.
That's right. Yes,
while you're working and breathing.
Well, that's good for the trees.
So here's what I don't understand about the Fortis thing. In British Columbia, we're really lucky to have hydroelectric power, which is renewable and clean.
Well, it's clean as it runs, but like as one of the councillors, I think it was Stephen Karpuk mentioned, building Site C, just with the concrete they build, it will emit, just in the construction and then the operation, will emit more CO2 than. He made an example. It's incredibly bad for the environment. Even though it runs the river,
it runs clean.
But it's still. If you didn't have it there, it might negate the benefits of it. So there's all these little, just like electric cars, right? I mean, they're great for the environment, but making them.
the ones at Volkswagen are
Oh yeah,
best.
Fantastic, yeah.
But there's it's the production, it's the mining in the Congo, it's using the kids, it's all this stuff.
But 100 years ago, Nicholas Tesla came and put in a hydroelectric dam in Vancouver that's still running.
Did he?
Yes. Yeah, it's really interesting.
He was actually he was kind of pushed out, right? There was
Thomas Edison.
Yes.
Yeah, the alternating current versus
Probably the UN was behind that too, before the UN existed. That's right.
But it's really interesting. Like maybe we should take our natural gas and sell it, have everything running on hydroelectric power.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, what did Trudeau said? No, we're not going to sell it to Europe, and that could have So and Quebec doesn't want any gas lines going across their province. So it's a very complicated thing.
Okay, we got to move on. We were going to talk about UBCM and what some of our councillors came back with.
We had Mike O'Reilly on last week, and basically, they talked to all the ministers. They had a report. I think Bill Sarai spoke of it. Stephen Karpuk spoke about being down there.
Katie Stater as well was in our paper talking about it to Mike.
Bottom line is they got to meet 7 ministers and 2 deputy ministers of the various things, and they talked about everything from courts to crime to housing.
To unity struggles on council
That's
as well.
the one that's interesting, yes. There's a ministry that might come in and try to help council get along, play better, right? They could just go to Cam Fordham's. His wife's a kindergarten teacher. She could probably come in there and help them.
I wonder how Reid feels about this. Probably. Well, I don't know.
They need.
He probably doesn't like the idea of that happening.
They need Vince Reddy here. He's the super mediator. They need someone in there to help them out. Or maybe it's just a lost cause and we should wait for the next election. But that was interesting. Yeah, I think Katie said it to Michael in our story in the paper that they might be able to bring someone in to try to help facilitate, which is not a bad idea, I guess.
Well, we'll ask the mayor about that next time we have him on Reader's Digest. And obviously some of the councillors think it's a good idea. Okay, we had an amazing weekend though, Mike. And I know you led the way for us again.
Well, as you know, my new puppy, Nuno, after the extreme guitar player, Nuno Betancourt, one of my favorite guitar players, we've been trying to get him to walk. And he's terrified of gas-powered vehicles. But he's not afraid of electric cars. So I had the idea, let's try to take him for a walk around the Volkswagen car lot.
But you know what happened? So that's a great idea, and we get the electric because we don't want to scare the dogs. What does Foulds do? He goes and he gets one of the 2024 SUVs that are now available at Volkswagen, the 7-seater Atlas and the 5-seater Atlas Cross Sport, the new fuel-efficient engine, which on any other day we would appreciate, but he doesn't care about the dogs.
Doesn't care about the dog, no.
I have a dog, a great dog, Darby. But she has
Darby?
Darby.
Oh, Darby.
But she has no fear.
Like
of-
after Darby Mills, the singer?
No, so this is my wife named her because
Oh.
she thought she looks Scottish or something like that. It's a good name, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking Darby after Derby County, my favorite soccer team in the championship.
Yeah, that was my
League
second
One,
guess,
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Spelled differently, but DER, but it's pronounced Darby.
Darby,
Anyway,
yeah.
I have a dog, and it's a great dog, and she doesn't get afraid of anything. She just goes in. She's a lovable dog. That's why I couldn't understand why
But
your
not all
dog was
dogs
so.
are like your dog.
didn't
And
understand
Mike's
that.
dog was so petrified that it had an accident on Mike's pants.
Right.
Yes, he did.
And we
Yeah.
had to go to Gord's.
A piddle, as we call it.
A piddle. We had to go to Gord's because the big appliance fall sale is here and the Electrolux laundry towers are in. So Mike took his pants off on the spot.
And they got all nervous, like, come on.
Like they got nervous because you were walking around in your underwear in the store.
Tighty whities, yeah.
And
Yeah.
They hadn't seen Tidy Whitey since 1977.
So what they did was they threw you into one of the Frigidaire wall ovens and put you in there because you can't be walking around with your
No, big oven, big oven.
big oven for a big guy there, yeah. And after we had to calm down, we went to McDonald's after. Foulds, you were a little bit kind of.
Well, I was kind of miffed because of the timing, because it was the weekend, and I went to get a senior's coffee, but I was 3
Before
days
his
out from
birthday.
turning
They
55, and they
carded
said,
him.
no, you can't. So I called my brother, Shane, to try to talk some sense into them, and lo and behold, I got my senior's coffee.
It's not going to matter soon though, because you're going to start buying things at McDonald's when Monopoly comes around and
October
make a ton of
3rd.
money.
October 3rd, baby.
October 3rd, Monopoly arrives, then you're not going to care about any discounts because you're going to be rolling in it from all your winnings.
Yep.
You know what else I like about McDonald's is that their muffins are moist. You don't need your coffee to eat these things. And I eat the top first. I don't know how you guys do it. Monica, my wife, she likes to eat the bottom first, so she has the top to savor for the last. But and
nothing
when
like
we split a muffin, it's always split like this, right?
Who gets the stump?
I take it because
You
she
take the
really
stuff.
likes the.
Yeah.
It was a big Seinfeld episode.
Yeah.
Was it?
Oh, yeah, they
there
gave
you
them to
go.
the homeless, and they got in trouble for it.
For giving all this stuff to the homeless. I gotta watch Seinfeld again. It's been so
good.
long.
It's on Netflix. Go from the start again. I can watch the same episode 100 times and laugh my head off.
Get your moist muffins at McDonald's.
This is cranberry. It's very good.
Above the Folds is next, and it's brought to you by McDonald's.
Ba, 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 ba.
Hi, welcome to McDonald's. What can I get for you?
Oh, good morning. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Did I talk to you last week as well?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'd like to make an announcement, please. Summer is gone and fall is here.
Okay.
What's your favorite thing about the fall?
Colors, all the warm tones.
Oh, all the wonderful fall tones, the leaves falling, the beautiful crisp fall air, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. For me, it's the fact that Monopoly is almost here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to order 2 coffee, please. Shopping local while I do it. Both medium, both with 2 cream, but 1 decaf.
Okay, 1 decaf. Anything else?
One more announcement.
Okay.
You're doing a great job today.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Chris, we got a guest here and you're on your phone.
I'm just
Unbelievable.
checking something here. Okay, good.
Svyatik Artemenko, how you doing?
Doing well, thanks. Yourself?
Unbelievable. Goalkeeper for the TRU WolfPack, and we brought you here because you have a pretty amazing story from what I understand. So let's start with some of the basics. Where are you from and where did you grow up?
So I'm originally from Odessa, Ukraine. That's where I was born. And then when I was 2 years old, I ended up immigrating to Winnipeg with my family. And then from then on, I just ended up staying in Winnipeg and growing up there.
And you have family in Ukraine still?
Yes, everyone aside from my parents and my siblings are all were in Ukraine before the war started.
And how much do you worry for the ones that are still there? Or are your family still there then?
I still have a few family members. It's mostly all the guys that are still there because the males aren't allowed to leave the country, right? Mm-hmm. So they're the ones that are still there.
And so you had a lot of family that have left the country then because of this conflict?
Yes.
Okay, so how did you end up there? And you ended up serving in Ukraine from what I understand. So can you just tell us what happened?
Yeah, so it was after the season. I played in Guelph in Ontario. I was playing for the League One Ontario team and then the university team. And I had a pretty successful season with both teams. We ended up winning the championship with both teams. And I was named the goalkeeper of the year for both teams as well. And then I ended up getting a contract offer overseas in Ukraine for a second division team. And then I was there from January till February on trials, and then I ended up getting a contract offer. And
Of this year?
of 2022.
22,
So
okay,
right
yes.
before
right
the war
before
started.
they invaded in February. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And then I got a contract offer on the Wednesday, signed my contract, went into the office, got all my photos done, and then Thursday at 5:50 a.m. the next day, the war started.
The war started, and I think you had the experience you had right away. Wasn't there a bomb that went off or something?
Yeah, so the way we woke up and found out that the war actually started was we were living in dorms right beside the stadium, and there was a bomb that went off right beside the stadium. So that kind of like shook the whole building, and like I flew right out of my bed
Yeah.
because I wasn't really sure what happened, and then understood it in like a couple minutes.
Were people hurt from in that bomb?
So, from what I know, nobody got hurt because it did hit a building that wasn't operating at that time yet. So
Right.
I'm pretty sure nobody got hurt, but I might be wrong with that.
So at this point, your soccer season is pretty much, it's not going to happen, and you could come back to Canada, but you didn't. So why not?
So I did serve in the Canadian Military Reserves here as a combat engineer, and I also was born there, kind of grew up there, right? And I had family members overseas there, so I just didn't feel like it was the right choice for me to like just turn my back and leave and say, you know what, peace. So I just wanted to stand up for my country and show them that I do care about my country and that I am Ukrainian, and that it's not like I don't care about what's going on there.
And how did you do that? How did you show that?
So I ended up going to the military base there to sign up for the military there, and then they told me that they're not taking internationals just yet because I do have a Canadian citizen now, or citizenship. And so then after a couple of days, they gave me a call back saying that, we're taking internationals now, and then ended up going through a bit of training, and then off to the front lines I went.
And what happened there? I mean, what was your experience like?
I mean, I don't really want to get into full details because it's I don't think it would be appropriate for the cameras.
Yeah.
But it's stuff that you could never imagine yourself. If you've never seen it, it's hard to imagine what goes on there. If I knew what I was going to see and go through before I signed up, maybe potentially I would have thought twice about going there. But you know what? I don't regret my decision.
Yeah.
So you've seen and been involved in some things that really no one should be involved in, but it is necessary. Have you taken any counseling for it? Because people get PTSD, people get nightmares, you get anxiety.
Yeah. So when I first came back to Canada, after all of that, I didn't really think much about it. Like, I thought that I'm back, I'm just gonna be
Fine.
fine,
Yeah.
back in a good environment. But the hardest part is actually not on the front lines, it's when you come back from it. Because even simple stuff like, I don't know, my roommate dropped a pan or something, or like on July 1st it was fireworks going off for Canada Day, and kind of triggers those like sounds that you would hear from like, I don't know, an explosion or something. So like I remember my very first game back, there was a helicopter that flew above our game, and I knew that it wasn't anything serious, but just the automatic response was to duck, get down, lie down. So yeah, but I did have a few words with people who have been in that situation, who were veterans. I haven't gone to an actual like psychiatrist,
Yeah,
I think.
therapist.
Therapist?
counselor,
Yeah. But I did have a few words with people who went through the same thing, because I think that they are the ones that could relate to me the most, because they know, like,
They've been there.
they've been there. They know how to talk about it. They know what could trigger something. So
Good.
I found it very helpful.
With the war now, I mean, how would you describe the situation, and how much do you worry for your family members that are still there?
So obviously I do worry for my family, but we unfortunately aren't allowed to have contact with them, because any phone call, any contact with them could get intercepted
Right.
by Russian intelligence, and they could like pinpoint the location of where the call is going to. So we're not allowed to contact them, and I mean the very most that I could do is pray for them and hope that they're doing okay.
So you have uncles that are there, cousins type thing?
Yeah, cousins, uncles, yeah.
So you can't obviously use internet either because of the same reason. How do you get updates as to whether they're okay? Or do you? You don't?
Nope.
No.
I don't get any updates because, again, zero contact is allowed with them.
What's it like on campus right now with Russian students and Ukrainian students? Is there tension there?
So, when I first came back, I thought it would be an issue, but what I learned and what people that I've talked to that have been in that situation, they told me that not everybody is the same. People that moved here, you don't know the reasons why people moved here. Maybe people moved out of Russia because they don't want to be associated with that. And I've actually been in contact with somebody who's Russian who moved out of Russia for that specific reason. And I learned to judge the person by who they are rather than by just, they're Russian, I'm not going to be talking to you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of hard to find a common ground of what to talk about with them, but I'm not necessarily going to go and hate you for that.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you're a person. You're not like everybody else. Like, I'm not the same as all Ukrainians, right? So...
How long were you there for on the front lines, and when did you get back?
So I was there for 3 months. I was there from February when it started and up until, I think it was beginning of May, because I came back and I hopped in right into the Canadian Championship for soccer. So
how'd you end up in Kamloops?
In Kamloops. So since I'm from Winnipeg, I have a few teammates on this team, Marcus Scott and Dylan Hooper, who are from Winnipeg as well, who I played with. And after the successful year last year that they had, winning the Nationals, Jackson ended up going to Australia.
Yep.
And
Jackson Gardner.
Yeah, Jackson Gardner. Yeah.
The Macarena King.
The Macarena.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite something. When I
You've
saw
seen
that,
the highlights.
Oh yes, I've seen him do everything. It was, he's like Emi Martinez at the World Cup. So after he left, John asked Dylan and Marcus if they know of any goalkeepers that are available. And then they reached out to me and put me in contact with John. And then ever since March, I was in contact with him, and then he brought me over.
Then you come here the year after national championship, and the team doesn't start very well, right? Mm-hmm. How would you describe the state of things now?
So, the start was obviously not the best, going 0-5 with 0 goals scored.
Right.
Not something that you want to be seeing as defending national champions, but you know what? Ups and downs happen, right?
Yep.
So if we start at the very low, once you hit rock bottom, there's only one way to go, right? Which is up. And since then, we have 2 wins and a tie, and I don't really think that's a really bad result.
Just going back for a second, is there anything else you wanted to add about the war and your experience that you want people to know?
I always say this. Before I went there, this wasn't me personally, but like, let's say somebody gets a pickle in their, in their burger at McDonald's, and they ask for no pickles. Like, you can just take it out yourself.
Right.
Like, just appreciate what you have rather than focus on what is like bad. Focus on what is good, because the things that you have here that you think is just a normal everyday thing, not even in Ukraine, people like across the world don't have that opportunity to, let's say, even have just drinking water, right? Mm-hmm. Having a shelter above your head, going to sleep knowing that you'll wake up tomorrow, like basic stuff like that.
So it's just change your perspective.
We call first world problems.
First world, yeah.
But your whole perspective has been altered.
Oh
by
yes,
this.
yeah. I was the same way. Like, sometimes I would just take everything for granted that it has to be there. Like, I have to get stuff from my parents. But when I went there and I saw what the kids go through there, that kids are sleeping in the basement where it's like almost 0 degrees with no blankets, no nothing. Their dad is gone. Yeah. They don't even know if he's going to be coming back. They don't know when they're getting their next meal. Like, made me appreciate more of what I had here.
And what's your hope for the ending of all this?
I mean, I just don't understand why we can't all live in peace, work together, because that's how you accomplish everything. Like on a soccer team, you work together, you accomplish, you get the victory, you get the championship, right? Mm-hmm. So, I hope that it ends soon. I hope that they find a middle ground and just learn how to work together. But again, I'm not the one to dictate that.
What's the story of the tattoos?
Tattoos. So this is just my last name that I got. Mm-hmm. This is just an owl I got in Ukraine because this tattoo cost me $180 in Ukraine for 8 hours of work.
That's a pretty good deal.
Oh yeah.
What does the owl signify?
The owl is just my favorite kind of bird.
Okay. Very cool.
There's no real significant meaning for this. I mean, this is my last name. Mm-hmm. This is the Ukrainian coat of arms, so the thing that you find on the front of your passport.
Okay.
Obviously symbolizes Ukraine.
Yeah.
And then I also do have a full sleeve here, which has a symbol of my city of Odessa. It's an anchor. Then I have a bull up here, which is like a symbol of Ukraine too, because back in the day, like for plowing fields, they would use bulls, right?
Okay.
So
excellent.
What's that famous, the Odessa Files, that famous movie?
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, you should get a wolf, maybe get a wolf tattoo.
Yeah, WolfPack.
So a wolf is actually my favorite animal. So
you're the right place. You're playing.
And
the
they're
right
3-0 with you in net, I think.
That's right.
Or 2-0.
It's 2-0-1. Yeah.
2-0-1, right? Because you're 2-5-1 in this season. Now they're undefeated with you between the pipes. 2 home games this weekend at Hillside Stadium. Friday 5 p.m. against Fraser Valley. Saturday 4 p.m. against Trinity.
Yes.
Final thoughts?
If you guys are available this weekend, please come out and support us because the support from you actually helps us a lot. Playing at home is much easier when you have a whole stadium behind you. So, which is a big reason why I think that Nationals were won here, because of the amazing support that Kamloops
The atmosphere.
showed.
Absolutely.
The atmosphere in the final top 5 I've ever been in Kamloops. Maybe the best ever, that packed day at Hillside Stadium for the
Watching
final.
it on camera, it gave me the chills when Domenico scored the final goal of the penalty, and then the whole crowd is rushing.
Yeah, goosebumps right now. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Okay, thanks a lot. It's been amazing telling your story, and it's incredible to have you on the show.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for having me.
White Rock legend, BC Lions kicker, Sean Whyte.
Good to see you, man.
Let's go back to camp. You're a hero in Kamloops. Remind us of what happened with your Top Gun experience.
Well, I was driving down the road up by where we were staying there at Thompson Rivers University there, and it was a really hot day, just driving by, and I saw a Jeep kind of just stuck there right in the middle of a parking lot, and the lady was sitting there, but I didn't think much of it. I'm like, as I started driving away, I'm like, maybe she was stuck, and I'm like, well, if she's still there on my way back, I'll check in. And sure enough, she was still there after about 30 minutes. Just asked her what was going on. She said her tire needed to be changed, and she had a flat. So I told Flintoff, who was with me, I'm like, you want to be a hero or not? Let's do this. And but it was an old Jeep. It was rusty and everything, so it was tough to get the tire off. But we got her done, and got her home safe.
It actually turned into a pretty cool story because it was her son's Jeep, and her son had passed away, and he was a huge football fan, and she kind of found all these different ties with it. Have you kept in touch with her or talked to her at all since then?
Well, she messaged me a few times just to say, like, good luck or great game and type of thing like that. But no, I haven't really said much. But the story was incredible afterwards because it was kind of weird, like how how many times people just drive by somebody and they don't stop, and for some reason in that moment something told me to stop. And the story afterwards about his son was it's pretty amazing. I guess that spot where she was his favorite lookout spot over Kamloops. So after I changed the tire a few days later, like, I can still see the parking lot from where my room was, and she parks the car there just so the car can overlook Kamloops, and because it was a symbol for her that her son could sit in his Jeep and look over that beautiful view of Kamloops.
That's wild. That's a cool story.
That's wild. That's really wild. So when you're not playing football, do you have a day job? And what is it if you do that? Because I know some players do, and they come back and forth.
Yeah, for a long time I didn't. When COVID happened, that's when I got a swift kick of reality in the butt there, where I need a backup plan. Before football found me, I was going to be a firefighter. My dad was a Delta firefighter for 31 years. My uncle's a Richmond firefighter for 32 years. And it's just kind of in my family and something I've always wanted to do. So when COVID hit, our season got shut down. They said the CFL might not come back from it. So I'm like, okay, well, I got to do what I wanted to do before football, and that was firefighting. So I did all my courses. I got a job with Dynamic Rescue, which is a technical rescue. I do high-angle rope rescues and confined space rescue. I think my body type is fit for the confined space rescue. But it's great to have on a resume. I know not a lot of guys have that on their resume. So I started doing that, and I love it. And so that's the job I'll do in my off season. I go to Dynamic Rescue, and I can pick and choose my hours. So I can work as much as I want, so and also give myself time to train the little that I do.
Your football resume is growing right now. 37 of 40 this season, 92.5%. You're not young. You're 37 years old. Okay, last year you were 92.3%. So what's the key to aging well?
Sleep. Just lots of sleep. I compare kicking to being a golfer, and I think you get better with age. It's as I progressed into my career, I've found the game slows down a little bit more and more. And I think the biggest thing is when you miss a kick in a game, it's really hard to come back and make the next one. And mentally, I'm stronger because I have failed in my past. When I was a rookie, I had my struggles, and I've learned my lessons. And it's Marty, how you played sport growing up. You make that mistake, you know how to fix it now, and you can overcome those troubles that you go through as an athlete. And and also my misses now have become smaller. So I think that's kind of what it is. I'm just lucky enough to play as long as I have. I've been cut, I've been traded, I've been benched. I've missed game-winning kicks, but I've been lucky enough to have a second chance.
Have you ever had a case of the yips in kicking, and if so, how do you overcome that? David Duval never overcame it in golf. John Lester can't throw to first for the pitcher. He just can't do it. Have you ever had the yips kicking, and how do you get over that?
Like, I still, in a way, kind of get them, and that's when nerves overcome. But you got to rely on that. The way you approach the ball. So when I go out, I still feel nervous, but then you got to go into your routine of, okay, I have a set routine with things reminders I have in my mind, and it's fun to listen to golfers too, because golfers are the same thing. I'm playing my best when I have those two reminders that I need, and then swing aggressive. I missed one from 50 a couple weeks ago, and I was so mad at myself because I tried to get cute with the kick instead of I babied the crap out of it. I should have just kept my head down, swung aggressive, and just swing my swing. So it does happen, like when you get a lot of pressure on you, you feel those cameras, you feel the magnitude of everything that's around you, and it's not even about me, it's about my team. I don't want to let my team down. So it's very easy to let those nerves get to you, and it changes your swing completely. It just takes over your body. So again, with experience and time that I've had, I find that those mistakes have they come less frequently.
I think after you missed, Foulds tried to have you cut, just like he tries to have Rick Campbell fired after going down 7 points in the first quarter.
Well, I've been a fan since I was 9 years old in 1977 when Edmonton beat BC 38-1. I was in the hospital. The nurse washed me. I bawled my eyes out. I can't stand the lime and mustard. No offense to you. I know you play for them. But I'm a Lions fan through and through. And you get kind of passionate. Too much wine, too much beer. When you guys are playing Ottawa there, my house got damaged. But you came back and it was good. So everyone needs a passion. I asked you one question, though.
Oh, here we go.
When are you going to be on one of these?
Who's that on the
This is Dave Dickinson, and this is Jason Claremont, and it's the good old-fashioned lunch kits here.
You got a quarterback and a receiver, not a kicker.
We need a kicker, so you should lobby to get yourself one of these that can hand them out at the game, maybe at the end of the season.
It's tough, man. I've been around for 14, 15 years now, and I'm still the bottom of the totem pole. All right, so you gotta understand that as a kicker.
Yeah. I was gonna say actually, Louis might get one of those. He was around for 25 years. He made 875 field goals. You're at 455 now in year 14. So can you catch Louis? Will you catch Louis?
I gotta play for another 15 years.
Exactly.
But no, I had a great talk with Wally Buono about a month or two ago, and he's basically my football dad. He found me when I was 18 kicking with Semi there, and he's my reference on all my to get hired with the fire department and all that. And he goes, how's firefighting going and all that? I'm like, it's good. I just before I was kind of ready to retire, but with this team and how much fun I'm having, I'm playing good ball still. I don't think I want to retire. And he said, do you want my opinion? I'm like, of course I want your opinion. And he goes, well, you play football as long as you possibly can. So
cool.
I was with White Rock Fire Department. I kind of told him I need a break for a little bit here because I want to focus on my team and football, and I just don't want to get hurt because we're on a great run right now. I'm having a good season, so I'm going to take Wally's advice and keep playing as long as I possibly can now.
I was going to ask you about the rugby. You played for Semi, I played for Marriott, but your kicking, is that where you started to realize that you could kick was through rugby, or did you kick footballs before you got into rugby?
Yeah, it was rugby, man. And then a buddy of mine, I was in the 11th grade, he goes, come play for White Rock. I'm like, no, I'm not going to be a kicker for a football team. I was the captain of our rugby team, and I was playing baseball and hockey, soccer, golf, and tennis. Like I couldn't keep up with another sport. So, it was after I graduated the 12th grade there. That's when my buddy's dad actually showed up, knocked on my door. He's like, come just play. He's like, if you don't like it, I'll never ask you to play again. So I'm like, okay. I was playing I had a soccer game at Bear Creek Park in Surrey. And the football game was right next to that right after. So I'm like, okay, I'll play my soccer game and zip over and play the football game. And I ended up kicking 3 field goals. And after the game, Wally Buono came up to me. He's like, you kick like a rugby player, but you have power. So come practice with us. And his son, Mike Buono, ended up being on the team, but I didn't know that because I never practiced with him. I just showed up for the game. So it was right spot, right time, complete fluke, and just kind of rolled with it.
That's wild. 14 years in the league now. A chance to finish it off at home. Your mom and dad, too. I love this. You talked about Pat and Tom. They got their own suite, basically, popcorn and beer. I mean, what do you make how it's all played out? Just kind of like a fairy tale scenario where your parents get to come watch you in BC and watch you kick.
Well, I've always wanted to come back home and play for my home team. And even when I won the Grey Cup in 15, I'm so lucky and honored to ever win a Grey Cup. It's a very, that's tough to win. So, but a part of me was like, man, I really wish this was with the BC Lions. I just wish I was at home winning this in front of my friends and family. But to come home now and be on the team that I'm on, I feel so lucky. And then, like I've said before, I look up at their suite. I can see the popcorn hitting my dad's face. And they're so happy because they got their spot there. My dad has his big screen in front of him. He's got his Team 1040 in his ear. He's got the big screen in front of him, like the big Jumbotron and the field. So he's got so much stuff to look at. And then my mom has her private bathroom she can go hide in whenever I'm sick or something. It's awesome, man. It's so much fun. And I know they're having so much fun as long as my mom and dad, because they've sacrificed so much for me. There's no chance in hell I could ever play for this long if I didn't have the support system and the mom and dad that I have, because the amount that they've done for me is amazing, and I want them to enjoy every moment I have left. playing professional football.
You're on a 1-year deal right now?
Two.
Two?
I got next year as
Okay,
well.
you got next year too. Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
You getting married still this December?
Yeah, December 12th in Tulum, Mexico. It's going down. So we're going down for 7 nights. And again, my parents don't do much. They've always given me everything. So I'm so happy they can go on a vacation. It's just my best buds, my closest friends, and my immediate family. So it's just about 35 people. It should be a good time. I just can't wait to actually go on a vacation with my mom and dad, because I've never really had the opportunity to do that. And playing football for the last 15 years, I don't really ever have a summer either. So it's kind of like a summer vacay in December.
Right on. Well, maybe you'll have a ring to wear, 2 rings to wear. At that point.
Maybe you have another ring in there after November.
All right, thanks a lot, man. Any final thoughts?
No, thank you for having me. Anytime you guys want me on the show, I'd love to be here.
Right on. Good luck
We
this
should make
weekend
it, we
against
should make
the
it a
Riders.
regular Whitey Wednesdays once a
Whitey
month.
Wednesdays,
once a month, Whitey
yes,
Wednesdays.
absolutely.
We'll talk about it.
All
Okay, thanks a lot, Sean.
Thanks, man.
right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You too.
Volkswagen.
Don't you remember that from Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
You know I don't.
Pull over! Pull over! No, it's
a cardigan.
But thanks.
Yeah.
That is actually insane because this guy, I used to watch him on TV all the time.
Sean Whyte?
Yeah, when he played for the Alouettes.
That's right. Alouettes.
He was my favorite kicker.
Alouettes, and then the Eskimos, and then here.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Wow.
Look at that.
Right, Mike?
Yeah, that's kicker. Whitey Wednesdays.
Whitey Wednesdays. Okay,
I'm the sporty Mike, just so you know.
we can wrap the show.
Yeah.
Anything?
Oh,
Thoughts?
it's great talking to Sean Whyte from Godspeed. It was fantastic, and of course,
Svyatik.
unreal.
Yeah.
Really good interview. We'll turn that into a story for the newspaper.
Yeah, we're going to.
It's very good.
I couldn't help but notice when you pulled out your lunchbox, like my dog does. You piddled on the floor a little bit.
Oh, really?
Just really excited.
I have a bunch of these there. I got a whole shrine to the lions at home. But no, very good show. Very interesting. A good reminder. You know, that the stuff we complain about, we really shouldn't be complaining about, because everything's relative. We live in this bubble where we don't realize how.
Well, I think too, like, we covered it pretty heavy when it first started, the invasion and then the war, and then it's not like we've forgotten about it, but it hasn't been as prevalent.
It's like everything. It just
in our minds. So to have somebody on to kind of bring you to the front lines, that's
good.
impactful.
It's important.
Yeah, a memorable one for me for sure.
Yeah.
110.
We can't do the show without our sponsors, can we?
No.
McDonald's,
No, we can't.
Randy Seacon at McDonald's, we thank you so much. You've been with us for a long time, just like Gord Stevens, Steve Rogers from Gord's Appliance and Mattress Center, more than a year, probably almost 2 years now. They've been supporting our show. We can't do it without them. And Terry, low rates at Volkswagen. Get your 2024 SUVs are in stock now, and your electric vehicles. They have been selling. They've been selling because of
Us.
Us.
Yeah, that's what Terry said.
Absolutely.
Not just because of his low, not LOWE rates, but his low rates.
I would say 90% of the sales are due to us.
Due to us,
Probably
yeah.
90%.
Yeah.
And we don't even get a commission, because that's our altruism coming through.
Just want to help. Just want to make a few friends.
We got more than 450 subscribers, almost 460 now. So thank you to the Last Week Clique. If you want to subscribe to our show, do so on YouTube. If you want, and podcasts. If you want to sponsor our show, email klw@kamloopsthisweek.com. There's room for you too. For Christopher, for Svyatik, not for Bill. He's in the desert.
The desert.
For Magic Mike, I'm Marty. We'll see you last week.
Last.